Hey team, so in your narrative inspired by The Lady or the Tiger or The Most Dangerous Game, you are encouraged to show, not tell the reader. So hopefully this is something you've learned before in creative writing, but if not, I am going to show you the difference. So when you tell the reader something as the writer, you would just say it outright. So for instance, if I were to describe the king and the lady or the tiger, I could highlight this adjective if I wanted to pick that he is angry. And I wanted to put the king in the moment where he finds out about his daughter, the princess, and her lover. So I'm just going to tell the reader, this is what I wrote. The king was furious when he discovered his daughter had been with a man other than her betrothed. So I'm just being pretty upfront and telling the reader. Notice, though, the reader doesn't have to do a lot of work, right? When the author tells the reader doesn't have to make any insightful inferences. The reader just knows, oh, okay, cool, so the king was mad. So that's all well and good, but to be honest, it's kind of boring for your reader. As the writer, you want your reader to do a little bit of work. So let's look at my free write example for show. So I am literally taking my pen and I'm trying to paint a picture for my reader. So I've written, the king furrowed his brow in pure disgust. His fist trembled considering the thought. I have to punish my daughter as if she was one of my subjects. How dare she defy my command? Indeed, the king was semi-barbaric, but to put his daughter's lover at the forefront of his subjects was like dangling $1 million in front of his people. This couldn't be more entertaining for his loyal subjects. As the king's body hunched over with this decisive decision, a half-twisted smirk emerged as he sighed. My daughter has made her choice when she decided not to marry her betrothed. And thus, as he marched off to tell her the news, the echoes of his footsteps carried the legacy of his great justice system in the empty halls of the marble palace. So I want you to consider, when you look at tell versus show, what could you picture in this free write? Notice how I never just outright say, the king is angry, or the king was furious. Instead, I show you, I say, the king furrowed his brow in pure disgust. His fist trembled, considering the thought, and then he thinks, right? And you don't have to write as much as I did. I just happened to be vibing with my magical wizard wand here. But there's a big difference between writing the king was furious or the king was angry, and the king furrowed his brow in pure disgust. His fists trembled. The fact that his hands, his fists are trembling, the fact that he is, scrunching his face in that disgust, there I'm showing you. And the reader can make the inference, oh, the king is really upset and angry with his daughter and her lover in this moment. So essentially, you're trying to paint a picture with your magical pencil or wizarding wand as you write. And that is the difference between show, not tell.